we talked about an end-to-end innovation process, and it's very good to identify certain phases that the teams go through. And I want to talk to you about customer discovery and the customer development process. So on this chart, you see customer discovery. And let's take 3 till 6 till 5 weeks for that process. What is it actually that the team needs to do in the customer discovery phase? They need to validate the consumer segments and their journeys, their jobs, pains, gains, different occasions or moments in the day in which they have certain jobs to do and related pain points to get the job done. You want to understand the competitive landscape from the job to be done lens, and you want to understand the size of the opportunity. How many people actually have that product or have that pain? So important in this phase is that we recognize that customers hire products to get jobs done. And we need to understand exactly why, what, how, and how often the job occurs and how is it being solved now. Because if it's not solved now, why would we bother to create something that might solve that problem and pain? So very important is that we never ask for opinions or future behavior. We always root the insights into past and present behavior. And that leads to different types of questions. So we would never ask, would you buy this product? We would actually ask, tell me the last time that you have bought a beverage, or tell me the last time you went to the cinema. And then you can start asking more questions. Why was that? With who was that? How was the evening? What was great? What was not great? Etc., etc. So it's really mapping and understanding the consumer world and the consumer journey. Well, and we mentioned already that we do qualitative deep diving by interviews and observations. Can we find patterns in the interviews that we have with potential consumers? And at the same time, we want to verify this quantitatively. So are the patterns that we see in the interviews, would they stick on a bigger scale? And can we actually recruit people by launching certain ads? Do they show interest in what we have to tell them? So these are all indications that we can validate also quantitatively certain patterns and insights that we have from interviews and observations. What we do is that we use the insights to validate the key risky assumptions. So what you see on this slide is that we always prioritize the most important assumptions and how we want to experiment to understand if that assumption is validated or invalidated. We can also test different messaging angles in this phase. So is an emotional connotation in your marketing message more appealing to the consumer, or is it more a functional explanation of the product? And we use the exact consumer language that we have found in the interviews then to play it back to the consumer in their language through Facebook ads or YouTube movies, because we want to be as close to the consumer as possible, and in that way words matter a lot. So you see here again the customer development process, in which we focus in the customer discovery phase on understanding the consumer and their problems. In the customer validation, we want to understand, do these consumers actually want to solve this problem? And we launch all different types of small, minimal viable products to understand if that is the case. Once we have a product market fit, then we are able to scale the business. And product market fit basically means, are people pulling the product out of our business? Can we sell it repeatable? And do we see a nice curve in our customer acquisition and sales? Customer discovery is really confirm the importance of the problem. Customer validation is really to confirm the importance of the solution. Customer discovery is really about understanding the consumers, and customer validation is really showing different types of minimal viable products to understand, are we on the right track? In customer discovery phase, we have problem interviews, and in the customer validation phase, we have solution interviews. So if you have interviews with your consumers and you understand their problems very well, you always need to ask, look, can I come back in 2-3 weeks? Because me and the team are developing all different solutions and we would like to show you what we are cooking up. And can we have some feedback on that? So problem solution fit basically means, as it obviously says, you have consumers with a problem and there's a fit because the solution is helping them to solve their problems and get their jobs done. So typical customer discovery questions. Who is the typical customer? What are their problems? What problems are they facing? What needs are they trying to get done? With whom do they actually have maybe certain problems or not? Are there specific trigger events? How is it solved today? And how is that solution? Is it a great solution or not so great solution? So there are all ways to really dig deep into the world of the consumer. I hope after this short introduction that you can answer this question. So what is the goal of customer discovery? Is that collecting a list of all the features customers want? Is that running focus groups so that customers tell you that you are on the right way? Learning what customer problems are? Handing product development a detailed marketing requirements document? Or selling your product to your customer? And of course, it is learning what customer problems are. This is the fundamental goal of the customer discovery phase. If we then look at the whole process, we have, besides the week that we use to prepare, we have customer discovery, and then we start testing the solutions in different types of MVPs. So the first 3 to 4 months is really to validate a problem-solution fit, not yet a product-market fit. That will really take longer in time. How do you know when you have a problem-solution fit? You have framed the problem and need a consumer wants solved. They want to pay right away. You can see in their engagement with the consumer that they show emotions, that they are involved with solving the problem with you. And they maybe want to try it right away or even buy it right away if you already have a prototype. You have identified a niche of early adopters, and I will explain later what an early adopter is. And you formulated the value proposition as a single, clear, compelling, and concise message, which is very tough to do. You explored the first steps towards value capture, and you test different lo-fi prototypes to understand the solution parameters. So what type of benefits or functionalities are your consumers actually looking for? What we really want to understand in this consumer discovery phase is that what is the job that a person is trying to get done? What are the pains in trying to get the job done? What are certain benefits we can bring to the table so that a consumer is delighted about our solution? So how would he or she describe the desired outcome? And remember, customers don't buy products, they buy solutions to their problems. And the famous Theodore Levitt, who was one of the first thinkers on what drives consumer behavior, basically said people don't want to buy a 1/4-inch drill, they want a 1/4-inch hole. Don't ask what attributes customers are seeking in your product for 2 reasons. Because asking what customers want will lead to predictable answers like less expensive, less invasive, easier to use, or more features. But as a founding team, you can't do anything with these insights because how can this inform us in creating a more better product than what is out there? To become truly customer-centric, you must stop asking your customers, what do you need? And start asking your customers, what are you trying to get done? So what is a customer job? And if you can see on this slide, it's basically when a situation, I want to, motivation, so I can, expected outcome. So when I'm having breakfast, I would like to have a complete breakfast so that I have long-lasting energy during the day and I'm not feeling tired at 2 o'clock or hungry. So if that is the job, how can we create a product that would deliver something that the customer would be delighted about? You have different types of jobs: functional, emotional, social. Functional is I want to do, emotional I want to feel, and social I want to be seen as. Let's take a simple example like a Magnum. A functional job is basically to satisfy a craving, need for food and something sugar. An emotional job of hiring a Magnum can be that you want to treat yourself to something special or indulgent. Social is seen that you would like to hire a Magnum and not a childish water ice cream because you are an adult and you eat an adult ice cream. So that could be a social job.